Ever since Microsoft announced that the Xbox One X has had the fastest selling pre-orders in Xbox history, people have come out to doubt that report. And the latest on the list is Michael Pachter. What is going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. And this is going to be one of those Michael Pachter says videos, which I love doing because, you know what? Even though Michael Pachter is a polarizing figure, I actually enjoy what the guy says. I find him funny. I met him at E3 a couple years ago, and we talked for actually quite some time. I like the guy, but he does say some things that turn out not to be true and whatever, so, you know, people make fun of him and whatnot. Well, he came out and he said, don't believe the Xbox One X pre-order reports. And he was actually taking a shot at Windows Central, our friend Jez Corden, who I do the Xbox 2 podcast with on Wednesdays. Sorry we didn't do it the last couple weeks. Jez has been incredibly busy with Gamescom and other job-related things. He's traveling, so he wasn't able to do it this week. But let's get on to what exactly he said. Now, Michael Pachter, who works for Wedbush Securities, which is like an investment firm or whatever, he has his own YouTube show called The Pachter Factor. And on there, he talked about the Xbox One X fastest selling pre-order numbers, but he didn't paint them in a positive way like Microsoft or myself or anybody out there took it, right? Like, we just took the information from Microsoft and said, hey, they're saying it's the fastest ever. That seems to be pretty good. Obviously, there's no number attached to it, so, I mean, how good could they possibly be, right? And that's, I think, the claim Michael is saying here. He goes, Xbox One X is ranked on Amazon in the pre-order a year-to-date, last I looked, number is 66. Now, if you actually look now, I believe it's actually all the way up to 52, but originally it was 66. He says that the NEX Classic was at number 23. It sold 2.3 million units lifetime, and the bulk of those sales were last year. So maybe this year it was 1 million. So if the X is ranked 48 spots below that, it's not even close to 1 million. And then he says, of course, Amazon gets only a few, he says 5 or 10,000 units. And then he goes on to say, so don't fall for the bullshit that comes out of Windows Central, specifically Jez Corden, because he wrote that article that tells you this is the fastest pre-order console in Xbox history. They only have a couple. The original Xbox didn't have big pre-orders. The Xbox 360 maybe, but honestly, who was pre-ordering things back then? So this, of course, is the most pre-ordered. Now, I actually disagree there about the 360. That system was heavily pre-ordered. It just was also not available in large quantities because of the Red Ring of Death and stuff like that. And yeah, he has a point with the original Xbox. And the fastest selling pre-order, I mean, you're only comparing 4 systems. The Xbox 360, the Xbox One, and the One S. And if you throw away the original Xbox, you're only really comparing 3. So and without numbers, it can be considered a meaningless comparison. I still think it's at least a positive view on how the system is doing. I've heard from my own sources that it's way ahead of Microsoft's projections, even before they said it, that it's actually doing quite well and better than they thought, which is a good thing. Now, Pachter went on to apologize to Jez and Windows Central, which I'll show those apologies here in a minute. Yeah, it's a weird thing that I've kind of noticed that a lot of people don't want the Xbox One X to do well. I don't know what it is. And you shouldn't want any system to fail. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Switch whatsoever. You know, guys don't know I'm not a fan of Nintendo, but I've never wanted the Switch to fail. In fact, I think the industry is better when all the consoles do well. So I want every console to do well. I feel like there's a sense among gamers out there that Xbox, it sucks and they should leave, and that if the Xbox does well, it says something bad about gaming or something. I don't know. It's this weird phenomenon that I've noticed that people don't want Xbox to succeed. Maybe they feel that if Xbox does succeed, it's at the expense of PlayStation, which they're fans of. And they feel that Xbox succeeding means PlayStation isn't succeeding, even though they both can be successful at the same time. It's kind of a weird thing. But for the pre-order numbers, I mean, I think the idea that they are the fastest selling, there's some value to that, although not much. Not much, because we don't know what the numbers are. We've heard is that they're doing better than Microsoft initially thought, which is great. But just on Amazon by itself, even if you take it being ahead of the Pro, because remember that happened, it is ranked higher than the Pro. Sony says that the Pro is selling extremely well for them, that it's like 20% of their sales. The PlayStation sold like, what, 2 million so far in the United States, give or take. And if you take 20% of the 2 million, I believe you're at 400,000. So 400,000 Pro units have been sold this year. And then you allocate to how many have Amazon actually sold. I'm not sure what Amazon's percentage of the gaming market is, 20%, 10%. You'll come to realize that, Amazon's allocation of Xbox One X's may have only been as high as 50,000, maybe 100,000 at most. I mean, it could be even as low as 20,000 or 30,000. We don't actually know how many Project Scorpio editions Microsoft actually put out there. So without the actual number, it's kind of just a PR statement. Now, Michael went on to apologize to Jez. Jez says, "Hey, Michael Pachter, thanks for the shout out in your video, mate. Please clarify which article is BS though, please." And Michael says, "Report that Xbox One X was the fastest pre-order in history is 100% accurate." So Michael's already kind of like walking back at the claim, because remember, he said that don't believe the claims that it's the fastest ever. Yet right here he says that the report is 100% accurate. He says the BS part is not your reporting, but the extrapolation by others. Sorry. I mean, I don't know what you can extrapolate from that, from Microsoft's PR saying it's the fastest pre-ordered ever. I mean, that's like Pachter says, it's 100% accurate. I mean, I don't recall people saying out there that it would sell more than PlayStation or the Switch, just that it was selling well. But then, of course, Michael had something else to say, and he says, "I apologize to Jez and Windows Central. They did nothing wrong. My 500 units Amazon claim was poetic license intended to mean small." So he's already kind of walked back on this whole deal here. And when he said 500 small, I understand it was an exaggeration to mean it was a small allocation at Amazon. Obviously, he doesn't know what the numbers were. The only people that would know how many were pre-ordered at Amazon was Microsoft and Amazon, and they're not going to share those numbers. Like I said, who knows what it is? 100,000, 80,000, 50,000, 30,000? We don't know. And that's kind of the broader issue here that Michael Pachter is basically saying is don't believe PR. I think that's kind of the takeaway. Don't believe anybody's PR without hard data is, I think, the takeaway from all this. And Michael Pachter was just kind of using exaggeration to try and get his point across. But I think the Xbox One X is going to do well this holiday. I think a lot of Xbox fans are going to pick it up. I can't personally wait to get my own system in my hands on November 7th. I'm going to try to win one from Taco Bell as well. Public service announcement, guys. Taco Bell, the giveaway for the Xbox One X started. So if you want to brave Taco Bell to try to win a system, try to do that. I have a couple weeks or whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video and give my kind of thoughts on the whole matter. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did so, please do me a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the notification bell so you're always notified whenever I drop a review or a news article or an opinion piece or when I go live. It helps out the channel tremendously. And I will see everybody in the next video. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see everybody later.